Hello and welcome to day 128, Becoming Peace Journal Meditation. The name of today's session is Put Pen to Paper. You know, we hear all the time, we become what we think about. Okay, I get it, and so do you. But just how is it possible to actually turn our thoughts around once they're part of our thought processes? Or how is it possible to just change your thoughts? Today, we're going to work on a solution to turn spiral thinking around. So stay tuned. The purpose of this channel is to help those of us who need regular faith-based rest stops, to let down the cares and the crosses of life and find a bit of peace. So, you're welcome here. And we're so glad you found us. Share this content with someone you love. Today's session is a journal meditation. So if you don't have a journal, a piece of paper, something to write on, and a pen or pencil, please stop this video now and go get one. You'll need these items to participate today. So here's a question for you. How do I change my thoughts? And here's another one. How do I change the stories I'm telling myself? Just how can I turn my thinking around? Someone just tell me how to do this. Wow, I can't even imagine how many times I've asked myself these questions. It's definitely not the easiest thing in the world. Just turn off my feelings? Hit the off switch and get over myself? Is that the answer? And how am I supposed to stop every broken record in my head that keeps churning and burning those negative stories? Well, it's a bit easier if you understand what creates the stories and the feelings you carry in the first place. Let's just start at the beginning. First, we need to understand in a nutshell how all this works. I believe that thoughts create feelings. Feelings move us into actions, and actions create beliefs. Here's a spoiler alert. We're going to discover an intervention for this later on in the week, which will help you navigate this issue, so stay tuned for that. But let me say that again. Thoughts create feelings. Feelings create actions or moving us to action, and actions create beliefs. So much of the time, I'd hear clients tell me, I just can't help the way I feel. I call bullpucky on that, because guess what? Feelings don't just appear inside your soul. They're a result of the thoughts that you allow inside your head to ruminate and mull over and over. So guess what? If you want to feel differently, you have to go back to the step just prior to the feeling. In other words, what thought were you having before you noticed the feeling? What thought or series of thoughts were you allowing to take up residence in your head? If you're feeling sad, ask yourself, okay, what story am I telling myself? Or what thought am I having right now that's producing a feeling of sadness. So go ahead and try it. Notice the feeling you're having right now in this very moment, or a feeling you had this morning or last night. What was the feeling you had? Now, go back a step and identify the thought you were having or thoughts that you were racing through your mind. Okay, now let's move to the second step, which is, okay, I've identified the feeling and understand the thought I'm having. Now what? This is where you're going to take out a pen and a paper and literally begin doing the work. A great disposition and happy outlook doesn't just happen. It doesn't come for free. It doesn't magically show up. And it certainly isn't just someone's good fortune. It's hard work, and it's worth doing the work in order to maintain peace in your life. So here's the next step. Put a pen to paper, meaning write it out. When you're trying earnestly to switch up your thinking, it isn't just a switch inside your brain. You have to alter and create new neurological pathways in the brain. So you need to do something physical in order to make hard, fast changes. So here's what I do as an example. A few days ago, I was really struggling with the blues. Sadness and despair crept over me. It was really bad. And one of the thoughts that kept playing over and over like a broken record was this: dang it, I shouldn't be in this situation at my age. I should be further along in life, having a home paid off and not struggling to start my life over. That was the thought. I mean, I was on a pity party for days until I stopped myself and said, hey, I know what to do to change this. Why aren't I doing something about it? I guess I liked wallowing in my despair. Sometimes we do that. So I quickly identified 3 feelings I was experiencing, and I wrote those 3 feelings down on paper. Sad, angry, and stuck. Then I started writing the old destructive stories down on paper. I feel sad. I'm now an empty nester and I don't have my kids around me any longer. I feel angry that I'm in the situation I'm in right now. Angry at myself for not holding my boundaries stronger when I was younger and not allowing others to push me around. And the third one, I am sick and tired of being stuck and feeling like I don't have any options. Well, here was my story unfolding right before my eyes. No wonder I was sad and depressed. Who wouldn't be with thoughts like that? So, I then wrote a turnaround sentence for each destructive thought, or basically a reframe sentence like this. I'm grateful all my kids are raised and productive members of society. They're all self-sufficient and doing a great job managing their own lives. And the next one. I feel so incredibly grateful. I'm literally 30 feet from my horses. Even though I'm living in a fifth wheel until June 1st, I'm so grateful I have my dream of owning and training horses. And even though we've had difficulty with running water and steady heat, I'm unbelievably grateful to be out on a 10-acre farm and living in nature with my dogs and horses. Do you get the idea? So here's the third one. I am the owner of a 13-acre farm and can go in any direction I choose. I don't owe a mortgage on this property, and even though it's going to take a lot of work to make it livable, I'm grateful for the blessings and stewardship of owning it. Do you see how this works? I literally wrote all of this out on paper so my body would process the change in thinking. First, though, I had to acknowledge what was going on inside of my head and heart to validate myself before moving to the next step as I wrote down my negative thoughts. Then it was important in the next step to reframe or change up my negative thoughts. It's very important to know this. If you're multitasking, please come back to me and listen closely. The body processes emotions through our sensory system. In other words, it takes our senses to process emotions. So when you take pen to paper and write out and work out your troubles, struggles, and reframes through writing, our body is physically helping the emotional process along. So in short, when you journal and write things down, you're allowing your body to physically disembark the negative thought by allowing it to travel down your arm, out the end of the pen, and into the physical world onto a notebook. You can bring your troubles and trauma, your hopes, dreams, and resets and plans into the physical world by birthing them through the written word. So I'm going to hold space for you to identify one of your strongest feelings right now. Then back it up a step and identify the thought you're having which produced that feeling. Then write it down. Take pen to paper and change your feeling. Spin a positive story for yourself. I'm sure that if you continue this process over the course of the next few days, you'll have at least 50% improvement in your mindset and the feelings you carry in your heart. I've also noticed it greatly affects my self-esteem. I feel accomplished and like I'm in control of my life and not being controlled by an outside force when I choose to take responsibility for how I feel. Okay, here's your chance to alter your life and practice. I'll mind the time until you hear a soft bell. Okay, let's come back to the here and now, the present moment. Take in some deep cleansing breaths and gently shake out your arms and legs, fingers and toes, and place your palms over your heart. Let's send your heart space light, pink healing light from the heavens. As you breathe in, pump the light into your heart, and as you breathe out, all your hurts and disappointments are being released from your heart space. Keep breathing and send that healing light to your heart as long as you need to today. Thank you for allowing me to hold space for you today. And I invite you to share this session with someone you love and care about. Taking the time to connect with just even one person, sharing with them more light today than they may have had yesterday. It's a healing practice and one with which you could bless someone's day. Peace comes when I take responsibility for putting pen to paper. It's a way you can show the Savior and your Father you're ready and willing to do what you are required to do to get close to them and connect with them. I hope you have a marvelous rest of your day, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye for now.